Kirk was fusion of $150 million by Israel. That would double Turning Point USA's budget. Turning Point USA has an annual budget of $140 million. Netanyahu offered Turning Point $150 million for one purpose only, to shill for Israel harder. Turning Point USA is already pro-Israel. They're not anti-Israel. They've never been anti-Israel. Charlie Kirk has, in the past, criticized Bibi Netanyahu. He has criticized secular left-wing Jewry in America. He has criticized war with Iran, the famine in Gaza. He has never opposed Israel in itself. He has never explicitly opposed Israel. Israel offered him $150 million to be more pro-Israel than they already were, to be in their support for Israel, and in particular, to support regime change in Iran and to support their ethnic cleansing and genocide in Gaza. And Charlie Kirk refused the money. And I have independently confirmed that, by the way. I've heard that from four people that are in the know. So this is coming from Candace Owens, a friend of Charlie Kirk. This is coming from Max Blumenthal, who purports to have a source. And I have heard from a handful of people independently of those sources that this offer was real and that Kirk the money. After Charlie Kirk turned down the money, Netanyahu asked if he would come visit Jerusalem and give him the re-education tour, the one that Elon Musk took, the one that our Speaker of the House took. Anyone that's ever criticized Israel has been subjected to. He refused that as well. They tried to re-educate him. He refused both offers.
The bizarre part about that video is that I obviously check videos after I edit them, and there's nothing wrong with that audio. There's no gaps in certain words. But for some reason, there's a bunch of gaps in that. What's even more weird is that the audio on the bottom, like the small little sound, it still doesn't gap. Just certain words just gap out. I don't even know how that can possibly happen. We're talking about audio from Daisy talking, arbitrarily coming out, but the bed staying. I don't even know how you would do that. I don't even know if I have software that can do that. What was that cool music at the start? That was from my band Volume. It's called Only the Winter. The full song with vocals are on YouTube. It has like 16 views. So if you want to go check it out and pump that up to 20 views, it's called Only the Winter by Volume. Silver or Lead. Chapter 1 in the great book of dupes is the switcheroo, right? Chapter 2, Silver or Lead. Chapter 6 in the book of great dupes is when you meet a girl and she pretends she likes your interests. 6 or 7 months down the road, she's like, football on Sunday? Done. Going out with your friends on Thursday night to a rib night at Fingers, the place for ribs? Done. That's also the great dupe. And as we see, so I've always said that this FOMC meeting will be the great flush. Now, I hope it's not. I hope we just continue up from here. But when we look at this chart, we can see since, let's call this the bottom, September 1st. So since September 1st, what is this pump for ants here? Since September 1st, we've roughly, let's just round it up to 10%. We've had a 10% gain, a 10% bacon, if you will, a nice little pie, 10%, just steaming on the oven on a spring day. I was expecting a little more of a run up, probably into the 120, like almost all time highs type thing. And so we're not really there. Maybe we'll have that. So with the FOMC meeting, we're going to see that violent swings, right? Knock out the leverage up, knock out the leverage down. And once the exchanges are clear, then they'll move the price where they need it to be. So this is the run up, I suppose. Now, the reason why I think we'll have the great flush is that, first off, the exchanges are against you, right? They don't want you to make any money. In fact, they want you to they want to steal all your money. So they know that most of the noob traders are like, FOMC meeting, rate cuts, let's go. And they're going to put in their leveraged long. So you can blame the violence and the flush on leveraged noob traders, right? Because they're not going to let some guy put in a 10x at 116, 230 and it go to 300K. They're not going to be paying out that guy, that player. Like, look at it like a blackjack table. They're going to give one person a win, blackjack or whatever. They're going to take 5 in, right? This is how these casinos work. They give one out, take 5 in. So that's why we'll see the flush, because these exchanges know. And remember, these exchanges, it's not like the stock market, which I would say is 60, 70%, on above board, legit. There's still massive manipulation going on, but there are rules and regulations. Now, do they really care about the punishments if they get caught, say, wash trading or what have you? No, because it's factored into the game. It's like, well, we're going to be doing this. Our projections are that we'll probably net $40 million off this trade. And if we get caught, we'll probably have to pay $1 million in fines. They're like, let's do it. 1 million in fines. Bullish on parade. Pianomattyb, do you think lower interest rates will open up the wallets of the money market and they'll come into high risk assets like Bitcoin? I spent the night at a Holiday Inn. That's an interesting ending to that. Comment. I wasn't expecting it. I spent the night at the Holiday Inn. I'm not sure how that pertains to the question, bullish on parade. But when you look back historically at the pause pivot when it comes to the FOMC, pause, pivot, recession. Now, I kind of think that we've been in a recession for a long time. It just hasn't been, it's a funny old commercial reference, Uncle Tommy says. I haven't heard it, and I'm all about 80s references. Apparently, you get smarter when you stay at the Holiday Inn. Some restrictions may apply. People don't actually get smarter. So I'm kind of expecting that. Now, speculation is all about cherry picking, right? So you can cherry pick certain historical fractals. Well, pause, pivot, recession. We did this 3 out of 8 times. Oh, who cares? And then, well, sometimes when the market's up and we get a rate cut, 18 months after that, we're usually up 16%. 3 times out of 8. Who cares? These are just silly numbers. But now, in retrospect, you never know what are the catalysts, right? You just think, things are moving normally. And, we had a rate cut and they flushed the system and it went down and then it went up. I definitely don't think that we are, topping out and the rate cut we will look back at the rate cut and go, that was the top of the market. Now, if I were to blow a hole through that scenario, I would say that would be the most ideal way to liquidate money, would be to, flush the system after a rate cut where almost everyone, and now, if you're on the side of the boat with everybody, it's not a good place to be. So what I think would happen here, let's take a look at this. There is a little bit of, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and this is the 4-hour chart. So she's a noisy little so-and-so, and for all I know, maybe this is already played out. Oh, do I got to do that again when I go down to the Tekka? No. Come on. Move it. On the MACD and the RSI. Come on. Oh, there you go. This thing. Oh, you won't go down that? You got to go to the back door? Oh, it won't work. See this? You see what's going on here? I can't. I keep on knocking, but the door won't open. I'm trying to go down. You're silly. Okay, maybe if I do it in. Let's see if I do it from the bottom up. Oh, there you go. See, why do I gotta trick you? Why do I gotta trick you, TradingView, into this? You know what I'm trying to do? This is a bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart. Now, for all we care, maybe this is played out already, right? We got this bearish divergence and it played out. Now, what would the play out be if we were to, continue up into the FOMC? A 1% reversal. That's not a reversal, 1%. In the TardFi stock market, 1% is a big deal. That's how boring that world is. 1%, it's a headline. Imagine that. A 4-hour chart in Bitcoin just received a 1% down reversal. 1%. Markets are going crazy after this 1% reversal. It won't happen. It's not nothing to speak of. Where do I think the price can find some support if we do have a flush? Well, let's bring up the fibs. Let's go from September 1st to the high. See how these numbers are all orange? I didn't do any. I didn't touch. You see, or over here, you can see they all have their own color, right? I actually did that. For some reason, they said, no, now we're not going to include those colors. If you want the colors, you got to go back and do it. And guess what? I'm not going to go back and do it. So we're just going to go with orange Fibonacci's from here on in. Here are some potential. Let's put this out into the future. This is our channel of ascension, which we're trying to break out of, but we just keep getting knocked down. First off, 23.6% fib. Where would that be? 114.8. No one would really think anything of it. That would be kind of a normal fluctuation. If you turn the air conditioner on in the window and it sucked, 14.8 would be like the two little what is it called? The things that hang down. You wouldn't even know it. 38.2% fib, which is basically around the 200 moving average. Mincing words with the 200 average, 113.6. That would break us out of this channel of ascension, which isn't good. For the bots, I mean, right? So we're almost in an economic terminator of sorts. We're just watching bots trade. Because that's still not a big move, even down to the 200 moving average, which everyone would obviously lose their mind. That would only be 38.2%. That'd be 2.5%. This just in: Bitcoin price dumps 2.5%. No one would even care. That's not true. Everyone would lose their minds, but really, in the end of the day, it's nothing. No big deal. 50% fib, 112.4. Now we're getting down to people really losing their mind. This is the 50% fib. We are now under the 200 moving average, arguably where we'd never want to be in a bull run, even on a 4-hour chart, right? That is as bearish as it gets, but oh my. The Siggity 1.8% fib is right down at our channel of descension. Our old channel of descension, as you can see there, would be support at 111.3. To me, that would be a proper flush. However, it's not a normal announcement. We're talking about the first rate cut in a year. I think it was last September. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really keep up nor care with these things anymore. These fundamentals from the Fed. This 200 PhDs that can't get anything right. It's on purpose. It's on purpose. It's just a FUD factory, just blowing propaganda up your Adirondacks. So whatever, these are the same people that do the CPI. Inflation's down, everybody. Is it? Is it? Because the one thing I buy, ribeyes, are up 100%. So even if you were to say inflation's only 6%, well, I don't know. Do I buy anything else that I would know? That's kind of the fun thing about just eating ribeyes, is that it's really, that's how I really gauge where inflation is. I don't have all these Rubik's cubes that are down, VHS and beta machines that are down, to offset. I just know this one thing has gone up since I bought it. So for instance, they're on sale right now at Miller's Meats for $19.99 a pound. That was the price like 18 months ago when I started this carnivore thing. That was the expensive price, $19.99 a pound. And then you would get sales, right? You get them down to 12 or 13. Bruce Mai, wow, how come this live feed isn't coming up for me? I always forget to say this. People are DMing me all the time. Like, we can say this channel isn't shadow banned. There's no reason for it to be shadow banned, but you're probably the 12th person that's asked me why it doesn't come up. So the only thing I know what to do in this scenario, if you're not getting the notifications, is to unsubscribe, subscribe again, because they can flag words in a second and take down people's streams, but they can't figure out what a bot is or how to let subscribers know that the video's up. So make sure you do that if you want to get the notifications, or you can always go to the Discord. The Discord is in the description box, and I'll always post. 99 out of 100 times I forget sometimes when things are getting tight. I forget to go into Discord and put the link in, but the link will always be there. Bruce, I don't know if you're on. Yeah, Bruce Mai's in the Discord. It's there. Yeah, well, that's what we got to do here, Bruce, for engagement. I actually have to post the video in other social media forums so people actually get it, and they still miss it. Where was I anyway? So yeah, I was talking about a normal flush. This would be a healthy flush, actually, as traumatic as it might be, down to the 61.8% fib at, what is this, 111. So we're just going down by $1,000, right? 1% here, 1% here, 1% here. It's no big deal. But I actually think that this would be a more traumatic flush. Now, the reason why I think it'll be a more traumatic flush is that it'd be kind of the last one, in this bull run, so to speak, before what we'd see the grand finale, right? This is the part of the July 4th fireworks where everyone's like, is that it? Is that the last fireworks? I think that's it. I don't hear any of them. And then the finale comes in. This is that little gap, right? And historically, they want to make it as painful as possible for everyone. Like that. I can't handle it. I've waited for 4 years, and that's it. I'm out. Right? I don't think there's many of those people, but maybe there are. I don't know. Sometimes I think about that. It's like, that's too much. I'm looking at these charts all day. Like, I should just read books for the rest of my life. I think maybe that would be a more peaceful existence, but obviously I'm not. Now, if I were to, say what a more violent flush would be, it would be to get to the 61.8. So we're in September. Remember, we have 2 weeks of Rectember left, right? And essentially, it's been nothing but up, 10%. So also, the market likes to lull you into, hey, you thought Rectember was bad? Well, guess what? It's good. Oh, you think it's going to be good the whole time? Like, you believe that Rectember will be good all September? And then what we see is in the middle of September with the Fed rate, we get a flush. And we would play out to the rest of September. Now, if, and I say if, we get down to 61.8 and consolidate, I would expect, if we don't see a bounce, I would expect a consolidation and further downward action. And the real pain would be down at this channel of descensions, old Old support at about 106. pianomattyb, maybe you're shadow banned because you're not bullish on Bitcoin. I am bullish on Bitcoin, but this is where I think a flush would happen. We all know where the upside is. We want to talk about we almost hit the upside. This I guess it was a cup and handle pattern here initially. Then we turned it into an inverted head and shoulders. Right? They're all the same. They're all the same bullshit. That's at 118.6. I think I have it slightly different on the ding dong. We got up to so we got about $1,000 away from it. From playing out this pattern, this astrology for men pattern. Let's go on the ding dong here. You can see we are respecting this channel of eternal monotony. Terry Crow. So you're saying there's a chance for a 2% sale, are you? That sounds juicy. 2% sale. Great time to DCA. The Birds of War says Zora would be a good place for your music videos, and I am seeing more music DeFi options. I've been hearing that too. Like, obviously we know everything we're doing now is TARDFi. Even YouTube. YouTube is about as TARFi as it gets. Plus, it's steeped in regulation and censorship. I do believe the future of this, whatever this is on DeFi, and whoever can do it the best and the fastest will basically get it all, right? The next first mover in DeFi when it comes to streaming, I'm particularly talking about streaming. I don't know what it is. I'm suspecting it'll be on Solana because it's the fastest and cheapest. That's my prediction, is that Web3 streaming will end up on Solana just because the system is the fastest. That's where I think it's going now. I don't know. Until then, I'm trapped in this walled garden of YouTube watching my P's and Q's, but I'm not really watching my P's and Q's anymore. I'm stepping out a bit. My at the end of the day, I'm saving this channel for Duke when he's older, have a monetized channel, not have to go through the bullshit. And then I always think he's like, bullshit, what do you mean, Dad? I've been streaming for 2 weeks and I'm up to 300K followers. I'm like, oh, great. So here we are adhering to the respect from this arbitrary doodle, this channel of eternal monotony. We got to get into it. This is where this head and shoulders plays out, actually. 118. So I got a 118 here and 118.6 on the 4-hour chart. So let's just call it 118 for this one. We got to so we got about $600 away from actually playing out this inverse head and shoulders, which is good enough for me. Now, if we want to continue on with some bullish prowess, we could make what some legacy analysts would call a kit, little bull flag. However, I don't like the fact that the bull flag is going up. I prefer a descending channel of descension on the top of a bull flag, but we'll go with it. So you take the pole, you slide it all to the breakout point, which is basically where we are. And you have 123.6, which is right about at the all-time high. Now, will the rate cut take us into bullish oblivion? I don't think so. There's still enough Shortesian artists out there that they probably have their shorts ready for the all-time high, just to dump the all-time high. So yeah, Bruce Mai says, watch, we only get a quarter point. Right. It's not the biggest deal. It's more of what it's saying than what it is. You know what I mean? Like, the statement is more like yeah, maybe we'll cool off for a bit, just not cool off for a bit, but it's nothing crazy, right? It's almost like giving a dog a bone. Yeah, quarter point. So, and most of that was probably already baked in. And then people are expecting it because historically, these did have some bullish prowess back in 2021. Before we got the rate increases, they were almost just like giving out rate decreases. Who wants one? It's like the Emmys from that Saturday Night Live thing. Who wants a rate cut? You get a rate cut. That's Oprah Winfrey, I guess. So 123.5 is the play out of this bull flag. Now, here's the best case scenario, bearish, right? All we do is, where was that one? So yeah, that would be below the 50 moving average. Let's call it the 50. If we were to say dump down to 114, which we already talked about on the 4-hour chart, and then consolidate here, we would build out the mother. Not really the mother, more like the second cousin of all cup and handle. Oh, I thought I drew something. The mother of all cup and handle patterns, if we were to do something like that. And then, wow, you take the pole, you slide that pole to the breakout point, and then roll at 126. Big deal. I mean, it's an all-time high. Don't get me wrong. But, all-time highs to me are like almost like snakes and ladders at this point. We broke the all-time high? Are we going back down? So it's bullish. Not as bullish as I think this bull run's going to be. I still like to live in a bullish world where it will rip people's faces off. I like the thought of the bull market absolutely tearing the retail noob a new one. That's the kind of bullish world I like to be in. So whether we'll see that or not. And if we go down that road, I really think even at 200K, it's just us. I don't think there is like this wave of retail that will come in. The wave of retail is getting in through the back door via ETFs, right? Because again, it's not BlackRock buying ETFs. It's BlackRock's clients signing up for an ETF. This was yesterday, I'll call it 300 million inflows to Bitcoin. That, imagine if, to put it in perspective, imagine if $300 million of retail exchange bought Bitcoin came in. We would be at 500,000. Maybe. I don't know. But you imagine the selling pressure of 300 million on an exchange. Insanity. So instead, there's 300 million buying pressure through BlackRock, which goes OTC. Doesn't really affect anything that much. But when we really say there's no retail, or I say there's no retail, and no retail is the black swan of this bull run, imagine the price if all of these orange noobs, these are retail inflows, were getting their exposure on the exchange. Now they wouldn't, because most of them would be like, nah, I don't know how to do it. And they'd be out. That's why we have such easy adoption into the ETFs. But that would be crazy to see that type of pressure. That would be the type of candles that we're used to in 2021 with all that retail buying pressure. It'd be insanity. I think Terry Crow said something about the Wookiee. Well, look at this. Look at that. Just throws up a cute little wick into our arbitrary channel of descension that we put up a long time ago. What is this? This is July. Like, it touches it. This is why I'm in a simulation. This isn't like some sort of math like equation that actually is a perfect math equation. It's just the arbitrary blah, blah, blah. So we are respecting this channel of descension, which is good because, like I said before on the Wookiee, I'd rather have a bull flag with the channel of descension than a bull flag with a channel of ascension. You thought there was going to be a joke on that one, right? Like some sort of 1940s vaudevillian joke. I'd rather have a bull flag with a channel of descension. Anyway, until we break out of here, which is at 117.2, that will be a bullish. As you can see, we've never really broken out of it. Even this one was just like, ooh, too hot. Let's get out of here. And we went back down, all the way down to 108. See, I don't even remember 108. Do you? That's how funny our bearish minds are. Because we were all losing our bearish minds at 108. And now I'm like, was it 108? I don't remember. It was maybe a cloud of regret and anger. And I can't see clear at 108. And then 3 weeks all the way back up. And here we are. We still have to break out of this channel of descension. Until we do that, there's nothing really happening. But get your seatbelts on. Because if one thing, the FOMC meeting, my favorite part of the FOMC meeting is how everyone looks into him like some sort of prophet. Like, what did he just say there? That was dovish. That was low-key reverse psychology dovish, wasn't it? Bye. Oh, wait a second. That was low-key bearish, wasn't it? Was he hawkish there? He said something about the sun. That's hawkish. Make sure you like and subscribe and share